This week, May 3rd through 7th, is Teacher Appreciation Week. So from teacher to teacher, I extend a heartfelt thank you for all of your self-sacrificing hard work. Like we often tell our students, when they do a good job, let's give ourselves a pat on the back. But the hard work is not over. We still have several weeks to finish off the school year. So to keep the momentum going, now is a great time to play math games to reinforce skills. For example, the game Close to 100 and Close to 1,000. It is a fun way to keep students practicing their addition computation skills and so much more. So today's video is part 2 of my explanation of the game Close to 100, where I will show you how to step it up a notch. So if you missed the last video, feel free to check it out in the links found in the description box below or somewhere in one of these corners. However, before I begin, I want to welcome all of you who are new to my channel. I'm Mrs. Zoe, here to support my parents, students, and teachers with all things math-related, ed tech tips, and educational resources. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, feel free to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell down below. As I stated before, last week I showed you how to play Close to 100 using task cards in a virtual setting. However, here you see displayed what it could look like if you were working with students face-to-face. They can use it either independently, with a partner, or in a small group of 2 to 4 students. Similar to Close to 100, the game Close to 1,000 can also be played in a face-to-face or virtual setting. And as you can see here, it's with the digit cards. And the only difference is, instead of working with 2 sets of 2-digit numbers, with Close to 1,000, students will work with 2 sets of 3-digit numbers. Playing Close to 100 requires very few materials. A deck of playing cards, and I recommend that these cards are removed from the deck, the Jack, Queen, King, along with the number 10. A recording sheet similar to this one, and keep in mind that in order to meet the needs of all students, the version of this game that I've created includes differentiated recording sheets. So feel free to check the description box for a link to the game. So after you've modeled how to play using the task cards, and students have had opportunities to play independently, then I would recommend that students play with a partner. So each student should have their own recording sheet and share the deck of cards. Okay, so let's get into it. The goal of the game is to make 2 sets of 2-digit numbers that, when combined, gives you a sum that is as close to 100 as possible. As an added challenge, you can stipulate that students can't go over 100, and if they do, they would automatically lose that round. Let's say these 4 cards were drawn from the deck. A student should think to themselves, from the example of modeling that you've done previously, if I want to get as close to 100 as possible, I should start with the tens place. Looking at my digits, I automatically see that the 7 and 3, if I put them in the tens place, will give me 10 tens, which is 100. However, if I want to get as close to 100 without going over, I would determine that 7 and 3 won't be my best option. Instead, I would put 7 and 2, leaving me with 2 3s, and that can be placed in the ones place. Adding that up, end up with a sum of 96. Okay, and to determine how far from 100 96 is, students will have to solve for the difference. Now, in my last video, the recording sheet that we used focused on the add-on strategy. However, another strategy that can be introduced is the compensation strategy, where students will subtract 1 from 100, leaving them with 99, and then they would also record the sum and subtract 1 from the sum, leaving them with 95. And that is a much easier number to subtract. Instead of having to worry about the series of zeros, students can just simply subtract without having to worry about regrouping. 9 minus 5, 4, 9 minus 9, 0 of course. So students can determine that their number was only 4 off from 100. Not too bad for the first round. Now the student that they're competing against is tasked to get even closer to 100 than 96. Continuing on to round 2. Say students draw these 4 cards. I would point out, if they pull the joker, that they can make that any single digit number 0 through 9, and the ace will represent 1. What's great about having a wild card option is that students really get to think about how they can maneuver and place the digits just so that they can get as close to 100 as possible. So in this case, perhaps putting the 6 and the 3, they can think to themselves, 6 tens plus 3 tens is 9 tens, which is 90. And now they have a 1 and a joker. So let's say they put the 1 here. Now the joker. thinking to themselves, they can actually get exactly 100 if they determine to make that joker a 9, because then that will require some regrouping in the ones place. And in this example, if they created 61 and 39, 100 would be the sum. Can't get much closer than that. Okay, to shift gears a bit, and for those students that don't need as much support, or perhaps you want to take it up a notch and to encourage more mental math reasoning, I would recommend using this recording sheet. Okay, say students were dealt these 4 cards. Similar to before, students should think about what digits they would like to place in the tens place. And the way that this recording sheet is structured, students can't just simply calculate vertically, which tends to be easier, but they're forced to use more mental math calculation. So reasoning on that, thinking in terms of the tens place, okay, again, the 8 and the 2 would make a fast 10, and 10 tens is 100, so they have to make a decision whether they're going to put a 4 and a 2 in the tens place or the 2 4s. Automatically recognizing that the 8 and 2 would be over, so they would go ahead and hopefully pick 4 and 4. 4 tens and 4 tens, 8 tens, which is 80, putting the other 2 digits, the 2 and the 8, in the ones place. Now, what this recording sheet also encourages is for students to estimate. So they should be reasoning to themselves, okay, 42 is about 40, and then 48 is about 50, so they can reason that their estimate is going to be 90. And to calculate to find the sum, students can use the mental math strategy. Add the tens. 4 tens plus 4 tens gives you 8 tens, which is 80. And combine that with the ones. 8 ones plus 2 ones is 10. 10 plus 80, leaving us with a sum of 90. Now, to find the difference, students can use a combination of strategies. However, going back to that add-on strategy, they can just simply add on from 90 until they get to 100. Add on tens in this case, leaving us with a difference of 10. So what are your thoughts? Close to 100 is a game that involves multiple skills that your students will enjoy. So if you're thinking about giving it a try, make sure to give this video a thumbs up down below. Oh yes, and not to forget, link to my version of the game Close to 100 can be found in the description box down below. And as always, thank you for watching, and to continue to support my channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take care.